So let's continue with the basic classes, my dear friends. Now, so we have discussed so many things in the previous two sessions. Now, let us proceed further and understand something called as decimal. Now, my dear friends, this decimal is not any new thing. Generally, we write a fraction, right? If you want to express fraction in terms of a number, there we use something called as decimal. It is that simple. Like say, for example, I'm having 6 divided by 3. What is 6 divided by 3? 2, sir. Then what is 6 divided by 4? Is it possible to do 6 divided by 4? So if you do 6 divided by 4, you'll end up with 3 by 2. That's it. 3 by 2, that's it. You can't divide it further. Yeah, in your calculator, you can divide. So logically, what happens here? 3 by 2. You are dividing 3 into 2 parts, right? What is 3 by 2? Dividing 3 into 2 parts. That is, each person must get 1.5 part and 1.5 part. So how will you denote 1.5? 1 by 2, right? But some people know they get frightened by looking this mixed fractions or looking this fractions. So expressing fractions in terms of numbers is itself called as decimal. The part of a number, instead of writing it as a fraction, if you write it as a decimal, you can write it as a decimal. Say, for example, I'm having 0.5. 0.5 is nothing but half. 0.25 is nothing but 1 by 4. Now, anything you represent after decimal, it refers to a part of unity. Like I'm telling 0.5. It means 50% of 1. What is 50% of 1? Half. I'm writing 0.25. It represents 25% of 1. I'm writing 7.67. Then it will be 7 parts and 0.67 or 67th percentage of next part. What do you mean by 7.767? 7 parts plus 67% of next part. So instead of writing it as 8 parts, I'm writing as 7.67. Okay. So technically, traditionally, how we do this? Like 4 I'll write here, 6 I'll write here. For 1's 4, I'll be left with 2. Okay. Now point I'll write and keep it as 0. For 5's 20. So 0. This is how what traditionally goes on. Okay. But we need not struggle for that. We can do it in calculator. So 6 divided by 4 will be 1.5. Now 1.5 you want to convert back into fraction. You will write it as 15 divided by 10. Remember this. Remember this. If decimals are removed, in numerator, multiples of 10 come in the denominator. Multiples of 10 come in the denominator. Now, if you want, I can write the reverse of this, my dear friends. Like say, for example, the same thing. See, how will I write reverse? I'll copy this, copy and paste. Now, I'll write ulta of this. If decimals are removed in denominator, multiples of 10 come in the numerator. Sir, what is this? Let me explain you, my dear friends. But before that, I hope this decimal concept is clear. Decimal is nothing but you are trying to express something as a part of unity. That is called as decimal. Like 6 by 4, if you want to express it, it will be 2 by 3. But if you want to, so it will be 3 by 2. But if you want to express it in number, it will be 1.5. Okay, instead of writing 1.5, we are writing 1.5. Okay, now, like say for example, I'm having somewhat like this. 7 by 10. What will be 7 by 10 if you do in the calculator? It will be 0.7. Okay. Now 0.7, if I want to write it back in terms of fractions, you will remove point and you will bring 10 in the denominator. Like I'm having 8 by 100. How will you write it as 0.08? Now, if you want to remove decimal, now after decimal, how many numbers are there? 2 numbers are there. So in denominator, you will get 100. Now 17 by 100 is there. Okay, 17 by 100, I'll write it as 0.17. Okay. Now, if you want to write 0.17 back into number, you will write it as 17 by 100. Like say, for example, my dear friends, I'm having 17.015. 17.015, you want to express it as fraction. After decimal, this is decimal point. This is decimal. After decimal, you will not put as 15, you will call it as 015. Okay. Individual number you will read. Now 17.015 is there. You want to express them as fraction. How will you write 17.015 whole divided by, after point, how many numbers are there? 3 are there, right? So 1, 1, 2, 3. You are having 7.93. How will you write 793 divided by 100? Because after point, 2 numbers are there. You are having 85.6. How will you write 856 whole divided by 10? Okay, this is how you would express decimals into fractions. I hope that point is clear. Yes, sir, the point is clear. Now, you are having somewhat like this, 7 by 0.5. Now, point is there in the denominator, right? So, in numerator, you will add 10. So, you will multiply 10. So, 7 into 10 by 5, which is equals to 70 by 5. You are having 6 divided by 0.04. You will write 6 after 0.2 decimals are there. So, divided by 4, 600 by 4. If you want to solve it, you can solve it. There is not for you. Now, I am having 7 divided by 0.01. So, it will be 7 into 100 by 1, which is equals to 700. Okay. So, if decimals are removed in numerator, multiple of tens comes in the denominator. The same thing I showed here, decimals are removed from numerator, multiple of tens are coming in denominator. If decimals are removed from the denominator, multiple of tens come in the numerator. The same thing I am showing here. Now, sir, what if in numerator and denominator decimals are there? No issue. I am having 0.5 divided by 0.02. So first, deal numerator separately. Can I write 7 divided by 10? Yes, sir, I can write 7 divided by 10. Okay. Next, denominator I'll write 2 and numerator I'll write 100. So 0.7, if only alone 0.7 is there, how will you write? You'll write it as 7 by 10. Alone 0.02 is there, how will you write? 100 by 2. Now 0 cancel, 70 by 2. Sir, I'm having like this, 0.06 divided by 0.03. How will I write? Now, first, deal with numerator separately, 6 divided by 100. Now, deal with denominator separately. So, 6 divided by 3, which is equals to 2. Okay. Now, decimal multiplication. Like say, for example, if decimal, if you multiply with 10, the decimal starts moving. If you multiply decimal with the multiples of 10, it starts moving. Like say, for example, I'm having 0.7 into 10. What is 0.7? 7 divided by 10 into 10, which is equals to 7. Or else, how many zeros are there? That many decimals you can move aside. Like I'm having like this, 3.27 into 10. 1 0 is there, right? So you can write it as 32.7. You can move the number aside and you can write. I'm having like this, 72.53 into 10,000. Now, how can I write 7253 divided by 100 into 10,000? Why I'm writing divided by 100? Because after point, 2 decimals are there. Cut. So 725300. Okay. So I hope this point is clear, everybody. Yes, sir. This point is perfectly clear. So I hope the concept of decimals are fine now. Yes, sir. The concepts are fine. Now let's proceed further. Now, this rule, I hope all of you know, my dear friends. But still, I want to inform you once. Okay. Now, just try to understand this rule. It's very simple. You know this. And I hope I already explained something regarding integers. Yes, sir. Let me get back. Anywhere did it do regarding integers? Yeah, this one. So I have covered this rule. I thought I didn't cover. I'm sorry. So we have covered that rule. Now, let's proceed further, my dear friends. I hope you understand the concept of division of decimals and all those things. No, that converting decimals into numbers, all those things. Now, let me teach you one of the most important concept, square and root. This is where many times students get confused. That's because the basics are not clear. Once this is clear, no, half of mathematics headache will go. Okay, because people are always concerned about SOPs and COPs. No, squaring on both sides and cubing on both sides. Okay, now see here, my dear friends, regarding square and root. I am having 7. Let me take you normal. 7 into 7. How will I write? I'll write it as 49. 8 into 8. I'll write it as 64. Now, 10 into 10. I'll write it as 100. 9 into 9. I'll write it as 81. Okay. This 7 into 7, what is there, my dear friends? We can even write it as 7 whole square, 8 whole square, 10 whole square, 9 whole square. Now, if you are writing a power n, what do you mean by a power n? A multiplied by itself n times. A multiplied by itself n times is called as a power n. Like say for example, you are having 7 power 5. 7 multiplied by itself 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 5. Now what do you mean by a square then? A multiplied by itself two times. Okay, that's the reason. 7 square, 7 into 7. 8 square, 8 into 8. 10 square, 10 into 10. 9 square, 9 into 9. If a is multiplied by itself n times, we call it as a power n. Now don't get confused. There's a difference between a power n and n into a. Both are not same. Okay, a power n means a multiplied by itself n times. N into a means a added to itself n times. Like I'm having 7a. What do you mean by 7a? A added to itself 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. If a is added to itself 20 times, how will I write, my dear friends? I'll write it as 20a. 20a. Now, if I'm telling 5 is added to itself 11 times. If 5 is added to itself 11 times, how will I tell? I will write it as 5 into 11, which is equals to 55. Okay. So I hope these points are clear. Square concept is clear. Now, root. What do you mean by root? Root refers to you are cutting the power, that is called as root. My dear friends, in the 7 square is equals to 49. The 7 what we have, we call it as base. 2 what is there, you call it as power. 49 what is there, you call it as a resultant. Now, if in any place, if you are applying a root, it means that's going to become you are cutting the power of that, to say simply. Okay. Now, in 7 square is equals to 49 is there. 7 square is equals to 49. Root, my dear friends, we symbolically denote it with this symbol. Okay. If I am keeping root 7 square, it means I am trying to cancel square and root, and I'll write it as 7. Okay. Now, this root normally 7 square is there. Now, root of 7 square, what does it imply? It implies 7 square into 1 by 2. Whenever root is there, it means you are multiplying, you are dividing the numerator of power with something. You are dividing numerator of power with something, you'll write it as 7. My dear friends, This is what is a general denotion of root. Okay, I'm having, say for example, I'm having a square is equals to 17. I'm having a square is equals to 100. Okay, square if I send there, it's going to become root 100. What is root 100? Root 100 is 10. You can do in your calculator, root of 100. Okay, so simply to say frankly, I will give you a property like this. I'm telling if a power k is equals to x, then a is equals to x power 1 by k. Some mathematicians, what they have written it as, they have written it as k root x. Okay, like say for example, I'm telling a square, a cube is equals to 27. So a will be equals to 3 under root 27. Now 27, can I write it like this? 3 under root 3 cube. Yes, sir. So it will be 3 under root 3 into 1 by 3, which is equals to 3. 3 will get cancelled. 3 power 1. 3 multiplied by itself one time, which is equals to 3. Okay. So whole power n, how many times it will multiply by itself? Whole root means whole power 1 by n. Okay. See, in power, if you are writing n, it is how many times it is multiplying to itself. Whole power 1 by n. Whole power 1 by n refers to you are trying to cancel the power what is there. Okay, that's the meaning of root. So I hope the square and root concept is completely fine. So I hope there is no issue with respect to square and root. Yes, sir, it's completely fine. Let's proceed further then. Now, there is one important point what I need to tell you. That is algebraic calculations. Now, my dear friends, we are having 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on till 9. What do you call these numbers as? What we call these numbers as? These numbers generally we call it as constants. And even 27, 32, all those numbers are supposed to be constants. If you mix two constants together, you are going to get constant. This x and y, what is there? We call it as variable. Now, what do you mean by variable? What do you mean by constant? Constant means it is fixed. It is constant. It is fixed. Variable means it can change, can be any value depending upon the equation in which we are putting it. Okay. Like say for example, I'm having x plus 3 is equals to 10. Now, if in order to satisfy this algebraic function, what do you mean by satisfaction of algebraic function? Satisfaction of algebraic function means the left-hand side of an equation and right-hand side of an equation should remain same. Sir, what is the equation now? I'll tell you. So I'll write x is equals to 10 minus 3. What is 10 minus 3? 7. Because if 3 goes there, it is supposed to become minus 3. Plus symbol, if it goes to right side, it is going to become minus. I hope this rule is clear. Let me tell you this rule. Now, if anything, if any mathematical operation moves from one place to another place, it changes its phase and nature. Plus, if it goes from left-hand side of an equation to right-hand side, it will become minus. Minus, if it goes from left-hand side to right-hand side, it will become plus. Now, I'm having x plus 3 is equals to 0. Plus 3, if it goes to right side, it will become minus 3. I'm having x minus 9 equals to 0. Minus 9, if it goes to right side, it will become plus 9. Okay. It's changing its manner. Now, say for one more example, I'm having 9x is equals to 1. So, x will be equals to 1 divided by 9, which is equals to 1 by 9. I'm having x by 9 is equals to 1. So, x will be equals to 1 into 9. Okay, division goes to right side, it will become multiplication. Addition goes to right side, it will become subtraction. It's trying to change its phase. Yeah. So I hope that's fine, everybody, regarding this point. Yes, sir. Now, constants. 0 to 9 are called as constants. X and Y are called as variables. They are called as constants because they are always fixed. These are called as variables because they change depending upon their value and variable, they keep on changing. Okay. Now, constants we have, variables we have. If we write constants and variables together, we call them as algebraic equations. Like say, for example, my dear friends, I'm having 9x plus 2 is equals to 0. This is an algebraic expression. Okay. Now, and it's also called as an equation. So what do you mean by equation? Anything which equates itself to constant or which equates itself to 0, where some variables are there, that is called as equation. Now I'm having 9x plus 2 equals to 0. It's an equation because anything which equates itself to 0, anything which equates itself to 0 and which has a variable in it is called as an equation. Fix it, simple. I'm having 8x square plus 9x plus 7y is equals to 0. Is it an equation? Yes, sir, it's an equation. Is it an algebraic function? Yes, sir, it's an algebraic function. Okay, so I hope that's fine. I'm having 9x plus 2 equals to 9x plus 2y is equals to 0. Is it an equation? Yes. It's an algebraic function? Yes. I'm having 11x square plus 9x is equals to 0. Is it an equation? Yes. Is it an algebraic function? Yes. Simple. Every equations are algebraic functions. Along with numbers, you are having some variables. It's an algebraic function. If it equates itself to 0, it's an equation. Simple. Now, sir, what about this one? AB plus BC plus CAX is equals to 0. Is it an algebraic function? Yes, it is. It's an equation? Yes, it is. Now, sometimes students will get confused. Sir, you said only X and Y are variables. Yes, my dear friends, only X and Y are variables. A, B, C, D, E, so on till Z, except X and Y are always constants only. Unless and until question says it is not a constant. Question is silent, it is constant only in our CA and CMA foundation. So don't worry about them. So I hope algebraic functions and equations are clear. Algebraic functions and equations. Sir, what do you mean by equations? Tell again. Any algebraic function which equates itself to constant or 0 is called as an equation. Sir, what is algebraic function? If constants and variables are written together, it is an algebraic function. Simple. There is nothing special in this. Now, let us see multiplication of algebraic functions. Multiplication of algebraic functions. Now, let's see multiplication of algebraic functions. Say, for example, I'm having 11 by 2 into 9y minus 7. Now, how will we do? 11 by 2 into 9y minus 7. Now, before that, let me teach you regarding this brackets thing. Whenever any bracket is given, my dear friends, it implies the number should be multiplied to all the variables in the bracket. Like I'm having 7 into x plus 2. 7 will be multiplied with x, 7 will be multiplied with 2 also. See, constants and variables cannot be added. Constant and constant can be added, variable and variable can be added. Like constant and constant. 9 plus 9 you add, there is no issue. X plus x you add, there is no issue. 9 plus x you can't add, I'm sorry. Okay. So that's the reason x plus 2 is as it is. Don't write it as 2x. Yeah, when you multiply, variables and constants can be multiplied. Variables and constants cannot be added. I'll write that rule. Wait. So 7 into x will be 7x. 7 into 2 will be 40. Okay. So remember this rule. Variables plus same variables. Like x can be added only with x. X cannot be added with y. Variables with same variables. Absolutely fine. You can add variables into variables. Variables into constants. Absolutely, it's fine. You can do it. Like I am having x into 7y. 7 you will write as it is, x, y. I am having x into 7x. 7 you will write as it is, x into x is x square. Okay, variables and variables can be multiplied. Variables and constants can be multiplied. 9 into x, 9x. Now, constants and constants you can add. Constants into constants you can multiply. Constants and constants you can add. That's what you are doing from childhood. Don't tell me that you don't know this. I'll come to your home and I'll hit you. You can add, there is no issue. But constants plus or minus variables will be constants plus or minus variables itself. You can't do anything. So whenever bracket is there, my dear friends, the number what is there will get multiplied to both the values in the bracket. The same way here also. 11 by 2 into 9. 99 by 2 minus 7 into 11, 77 by 2. Okay. Next, I am having x by 10 into 2 minus x minus 2. X into x, x square by 10 minus 2x by 10. Where denominators are same, you can add the numerators. Okay, that's also completely fine. I am having minus 3 into 5 plus 4x. 3 into minus 5 minus 15 minus 4 into 3, 12x. So when bracket is being opened, the value gets multiplied to all the things in the bracket. Okay. Now I'm having somewhat like this. 10 plus x into 5 plus 5. Now what happens, sir? Now individual values get multiplied individually. 10 will get multiplied with 5, 10 will get multiplied with y. 5 into 10, 50, 10 into y, 10 by. Now 10 is over, right? Now x will get multiplied with 5, x will get multiplied with y. 5x plus yx. Or you can write it as xy. That's totally up to you. There is no issue. Or I'm having somewhat like this. Next, one more example. I'm having 4 by 7x plus 6 into 14x minus 7 equals to 0. Just like equal to no 0. Again, it will become an equation. Now again, individual variables will get multiplied. 4 by 7 into x, 4 by 7x into 14x minus 4 by 7x into 7. Sir, why you wrote minus? Because he's telling minus 7. Plus into minus will be minus. Next, plus 6 into 14x minus 6 into 7. So 7 ones, 7 twos. So it will be 4 twos, 8 x square. 7, 7 cancel, minus 4x. Plus 6 into 14. We have 84x minus 42. So 8x square plus 80x minus 42. Okay, so I hope the point is clear, my dear friends. We have seen what are algebraic functions, what are equations. If constants are written with variables, we call it as algebraic functions. If you equate them to 0, you call it as equation. Next, we have seen multiplication of algebraic functions. Now, next, the same thing here also. I said you, if plus goes there, minus goes there, what happens? Then what all can be added, what all can be subtracted, what all can be multiplied. Sir, what about division, sir? Yeah, division. I am having 9x by 12x square. Now, 9x divided by 12x square, can I write x into x? Yes, sir. X gets cancelled. 3 3 is 9, 3 4 is 12. So 3 divided by 4x. Okay. So I hope these basic points are clear. Yes, sir. These basic points are clear. Now, say for one more example, I'm having an equation like this. I'm having x minus 3 into x square plus 3x plus 9. Now, if x and x gets multiplied, it will become x cube. Now, sir, how it will become x cube? Wait, I'll tell you one property. Don't worry. X into 3x will become 3x square. X into 9 will become 9x. Minus 3 into x square will become minus 3x square. Minus 3 plus 3x will become minus 9x. Next, minus 3 plus 9 will become minus 27. So x cube is as it is. Plus 3x square minus 3x square plus 9x minus 9x get cancelled. Minus 27. X cube minus 27. Okay. So I hope that point is fine. Yes, sir. That point is completely fine. Now, there are two important points regarding the square and roots what I need to tell, which we frequently use in algebraic functions. Whenever you are having any function in the form of a power n into a power n, you can write it as a power n plus n. Like say for example, you are having 5 square into 5 power 4. What is 5 square? 5 multiplied it 2 times. What is 5 power 4? 5 multiplied 4 times. 5 multiplied 2 times is 5 square. 5 multiplied 4 times is 5 power 4. So 25 into 625. What is 25 into 625? 25 into 625 is nothing but 15,625. 15,625 is exactly same as 5 power 6. You can check in your calculator. 5 into 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 into 1, if you press equal to symbol 6 times, you will get 5 power 6. Now, instead of doing all these calculations in between, can I directly write 5 square into 5 power 4 is a power m plus n, which is 5 power 6? Yes, sir. So, like say for one more example, I am having 7 square into 7 power 5. Directly you can write it as 7 power 2 plus 5, which is equals to 7 power 7. All these two line calculations, what are there, you can skip that. Next, a power m by a power n. You can write it as a power m minus n. Like you are having 7 power 10 divided by 7 cube. You can write it as 7 power 10 minus 3, which is 7 power 7. I am having 6 power 4 by 6 square. You can write 6 power 4 minus 2, which is 6 power 2. I am having x power 7 by x power 4. You can write x power 7 minus 4, which is equals to x cube. Okay. So I hope this basic two mathematical functions are clear. Many places we use them, my dear friends. And there is one more mathematical function, what I said you here. Yeah. If a power k is equals to x, then a is equals to k root x. Here also. Like I'm having a power 10 is equals to 10 lakh. Let's write anything. There's no issue. I'm not checking it. So a is equals to 10 root 10 lakh. Okay. So I hope all these points are clear, my dear friends. Yes, so these are the basic things what you need to know. Without these things, understanding foundation when you're non-maths background student, it's clearly difficult. But if you know these things, you're not a non-maths background student anymore. Okay, this much basics are enough. Okay, now we'll have one more video, my dear friends, on the same basics. Okay, see you in the next video.